Okay, section D, access. We have to open up store apps. It's slightly awkward, I realize. So Jade and Savannah, so that the world can, all the cat people can know they're being naughty in my class right now. I know it's bad to be recording this while they're there, but Audrey is being good. Anyway, anyway, for access, we're enabling content. Make sure you do that before you start. It asks us to work with TBL clients first, so we're going to open that up in design view so we can edit it in here. It asks us to edit the field sizes for company name, closest branch, and contact number to be size 30. I actually wonder if it allows us to select multiple at the same time. I doubt it. Hey, it does. Let's see if we can change all three at the same time. Contact number and closest branch. So all of those should have a field size of 30. Okay, so let's just check that that did apply. Didn't apply to all of them, only the one that was finally selected. Worth a try. Okay, contact number 30. Okay, so we've changed the field sizes of those three items, and now it asks us to set an input mask on a contact number so that it has 3 numbers, space 3 numbers, and then forced numbers. So what we would do is we'd go to input mask, open brackets 000, open close brackets 000, space 000. It does state all numbers are required, which means that if they weren't required, you would use 9s. If you want to find this out, you just press F1 and you can use offline help to find out what the reserved characters are. We go further down to create a lookup for closest branch. So we go to closest branch. Okay, I did this in the wrong place. This should have been in contact number. So I'm just going to cut it from here, put it into contact number, and closest branch. I'm now going to create a lookup. But the easiest way to do lookups is through a Lookup Wizard. It then asks us to type in the values Joburg, PTA, and Durban. So JHB, PTA, DBN. Let me just pause to check if any of my class needs help. Okay, cool. So we've got those 3 values that are in there. We are now going to go next. Closest branch. That's perfect. Finish. Okay, now it asks us to create a validation rule for contact number to only allow Mr., Miss, Mrs., or Doctor. There's probably Professor and all those other jazz, but anyway. So validation rule, we only want to allow Mr. or damn it. Miss or Mrs. or Doctor. Notice that because it's text, we put all text that we physically want this to show, we put in inverted commas. The validation text, whenever you do a validation rule, you should create an appropriate validation text. So I would just say simply invalid title. Please try again. Please try again. Alright. Now, we now got to do enter the following data into TBL clients. It's a bit annoying. I suppose it's data capturing, making sure that you enter it correctly. I'll check with time schedules and whatnot if we will ask you to do this in an exam. Okay, I'm going to pause this video while I capture this data. And data created, but now what we need to do is move on to the next one, which is TBL link. So we close this one. Layout, that's just got to do with sizing of fields and whatnot. It's not actually, the data saves as you capture it. Yeah, TBL link, create a new table called TBL link to follow the below. So create, I always suggest that when creating a table, do it in design view. The first one, link ID, which will be a order number and will be the primary key. Next field is package, text, and it must be a lookup from TBL package. So lookup wizard, I want to choose it from another table, TBL package, and the field that it wants to work from is, when you do a lookup, it should always be the primary key that you choose. The primary key does explain it, so we don't need to worry about adding an additional field. Yeah, all good. Okay, I must save it before we continue, so this should be called TBL link. And our next item that we need is software which is short text to look up from TBL software. So Lookup Wizard, next, TBL software, next, software name, that's fine, next. Cool, finish. Yes, some of the steps might be different. Like, for example, if I say that you should enforce referential integrity, you'll need to tick that option, or you can go to database tools and enforce it there. So if we save this table, if we go to database tools relationships, you'll see that the relationship's now been created. This is a linking table to allow a many-to-many relationship, to allow one package to have many different software items and one software item to be utilized in many different packages, a many-to-many link. Anyway, moving on. Question 8 asks a form for 4 marks. Creating a form, the easiest way to create a form is in using Wizard. I've asked to look like a below. Okay, so firstly it's on the clients, so we actually want to add all fields by the looks of it, yes, to clients. It looks like it is columnar because it's only got 2 columns. If I look at the rest, it doesn't look like any of these, so I'm going to leave it on columnar and then we're going to call it frame clients. Okay, now we need to edit it to look like we want to. So like was on the picture there, so we're going to go to design view. In the design view we are going to, firstly on the right hand side, all of these were aligned, so let's just quickly align them. I think there was probably an option that's chosen directly in the layout that would have done this automatically. I don't remember which one it is. So then all the right hand side is going to be aligned. From there we needed to have should just say clients up here. The theme was slightly different, but I don't think that's background image. I don't want an image. Shape fill. Let's just choose a darker color because it's darker in the item, and then the text was lighter. Okay. Again, because it'll be printed in black and white, you won't notice exact differences. There's might slight color difference. It doesn't matter as long as it looks similar. Okay, and saw images needs to be added here, so we need to add an image. I don't think it's a background image. We just want to add insert image, browse. You'd go to your preloads, which in my case is under here. Okay, I'm going to pause this while I find the image. F7, I think. Okay, so I pasted this saw image onto the top right. And now I needed control buttons at the bottom. That can either be in the form footer or it could be in the actual main page. I don't think it'll make much difference. I think form footer would make more sense. So we'll go to our action elements here, our controls. We want to add a button. We're going to put a button on over here. Fail. Button over here. And we want this to do record navigation. We want to go next. Go to next record. Okay. Next, we want picture, finish. Okay, so it'll be the right arrow, and then we would want one as well to go the opposite direction to the left, and that should navigate also to the left as stipulated in the text. So that should go to last record. Go to the previous record, sorry. Finish. Okay, so now if we change our views, that looks like it should. If I make it small, it'll be screen there, and then that will allow us to navigate through the fields. Okay, next question asks queries. This is where it gets a little bit more challenging. For queries, I always suggest you go to queries, you create in design view. So normally design, wizard. So query design, which tables are we going to be working with? It's asking for query Joburg clients that will display all clients from Joburg. So we are obviously working with TBL clients here. So we're going to add that, and that's the only one we want to work with. Now it doesn't stipulate which fields it wants to show, but obviously it'll be it's logical to show all of them. And we only want from Joburg. So we are wanting, how would we determine whether they're from Joburg? That's the closest branch. So we are not going to show this because we're already showing everything here, and the criteria is going to be JHB to make sure that these people are from Joburg. We run the query to test it, and it'll show only the 2 companies which are close, clients which are close to Joburg branch. Okay, we save this query as QRY Joburg clients. Okay, next question. Question 10. Create a query called query number of software types, which will return the number of each software type in TBL software. Okay, so create table design. So not table design, query design. And we will then show from TBL software. Now, what it's wanting to do is it is wanting to show the number of each software type. So basically working from type, and we're wanting to group by that, and we are wanting to count everything. So first we're going to do our grouping. So we go to totals at the top to work with our groupings, and we want to group it by type. So we're going to group it by the type. We now want to count the number of each one. There's two ways you can do it. You can count the star, or you can count the primary key. I prefer counting the primary key, but you guys can choose whichever one you prefer. And that will count the total number of each software type. So if I run this now, there is 1 media application, 3 office applications, 4 operating systems, and 1 utility. We must save this query now as QRY num of soft type, and then we work on from determine package costs. Okay, create a query called query package cost using TBL package, TBL link, and TBL software, which will group package name and display the sum of the cost from TBL software. So create query design. We're going to add 3 tables here. We are going to add TBL package. We're going to add TBL link, so the linking table, and we're going to add TBL software. Okay. Now from there, we are wanting to work with, which will group it by package name. So we want to add package name, and we want to group by there. So for grouping, again, totals, we're going to group by package name. We want the sum of the cost from TBL software. So we want to now add the cost field, and here we don't want to group by this, but we want to have the sum of it. When we run this, it will show us nothing. What have I missed out? Ooh, I missed out the question to import data. That's what the reason why this is not showing. Excuse me for going to that view. I'm used to getting that to do SQL statements. What I didn't do is I didn't import the data. That's why this is not working. So I'm just going to save it for now as QRY. Excuse me, QRY package cost per user. Okay. Now, unfortunately, this is not going to. We're going to close this, and what I forgot to do is in the TBL link, I was meant to import data from Excel. It was question number 7. I completely skipped out. So we are going to get external data, and the external data is a Excel file. We're going to browse for it, which in my case is in my Dropbox current, which is 2013's actually. Exemplar Memo, and we get it from data.xlsx. We're going to append it to TBL link. Okay. Table is currently open. Do you want to close? Save changes and close the table? Yes. Blah blah blah. It looks correct. Does my data have headings? Yes. Next. Finish. The package name does not exist. An error occurred. Okay, now this is quite an important thing. By the looks of it, my TBL link, I called something incorrectly. So my design of my table is different to what it is there. So package here, if we look at the Excel spreadsheet that we've got over here, which we'll get from data.xlsx, the heading there is package name. Ooh, so if you take a look at my data here, okay, looks like I need an amendment. This is package name here. So I should have actually had my field here, course called, which I'll make an amendment in the question paper. So I'm going to do now, quickly. Okay, by the looks of it, it was my bad. I just simply have forgotten how to read. Long day. Literally, what I did incorrectly was that the data was all correct. What I didn't do is when I went Excel and I chose the location of the data and pen copy to TBL link, I should have chosen the correct sheet. Instead of packages sheet, I should have chosen the link sheet, which is why the data was not getting imported. Okay, so it will work now. My bad on that. I also don't know if I did miss a step for importing the other data, but I think that's correct. So now if we run this query number of software types, it should give us, cost per user. It should give us now a better answer. Okay, now that we've got that, our next question states the following. It asks us, okay, so just for those who didn't understand what I did wrong there, is literally all I did is I didn't point to the correct sheet. The naming was correct, it was just the incorrect sheet, which I'm thankful for. Okay, what was I doing now? Okay, we've created the form, created a query. Our second question in that query states that part B of it, query package cost, which will display the package and the total cost. So in other words, if we take a look at our clients have multiple licenses that they will need. So each package, number of licenses here, has multiple users that it is licensed for. So we want total package cost. So now if we look at this, we've just worked out how much each package costs using query package cost per user. So now what we need to do is we need to create a query design, but now instead of just working from tables, we're also going to work from the previous query we created, package cost per user. And then on from that, we're going to add tables, what else do we need? Package, which obviously these two are linked. We are then going to close it. Now our goal here is that will display the package and the total cost. So we want to display the package name and we want to display the total cost. So what we're going to do is we're going to group, we're going to have to do a calculation over here, and the calculation we're going to have to do is going to be called total cost full colon. So that we first, in the calculation, you first name the calculation, you then mention the field. So I'm going to put square brackets, and the field that we want to work with is sum of costs, and we then want to multiply it by the field number licenses. So it's a calculation where we're simply taking the one field multiplied by the other field. So again, name field multiplied by the field. We run it, it'll then come up with the total cost of each of them. Okay, so we're going to save this query as QRY package cost, and we're going to close that. Okay, next question, report software. Which will group at the end, create a report called report software, which will group by type, and at the end of each type it should display the average cost of the software. So create reports are best done in Wizards. We are basing it on create a report called report software that will display the average cost of the software. Which will group by type, and at the end of each type display the cost software. Okay, that wasn't very well worded. I'm assuming it's from table software. Okay, and we are wanting to group by type. So we added grouping level, so it will show each type and each software that is underneath it. Next, I'm just going to click finished to try to rush this up a bit. And now at the end of each type, we want the average cost of it. So we're going to close our design view, and we are now going to go to our, we need a type header, we now need a type footer. So to get that, we work with our groupings and sorts. We click on groupings and sort here. We go to more, and we say without a footer section, we change it to with a footer section. So now we have a footer section for type. With that footer section for type, we want to add our text field, which is add existing fields. I want to add a field. I'm assuming it's in design. I don't know where though. Controls. There we go. Okay, so we're going to add a text option, and we're going to click in here. We're going to say equals average. It might be AVG, but I think hopefully both will work. Average, and we are wanting to work out the average cost, so we are working with the field cost. So we say cost, close square brackets, close brackets, give it a logical name, and then we'll run it and see if this works. I don't know if it's going to work. Nope. Okay, average doesn't work, so it must be AVG. AVG. Okay, and we run this and see if that works, and voila, it works. The average cost of Audacity is free, or any media there. Average cost for Office applications 23 Rand, etc., etc., etc. So that is done. That is the access section complete. Next, HTML. Goodbye.